What's going on, everybody? C4 here. Welcome back to the channel, and we are here for a new episode of our Philadelphia Eagles Madden 21 Flashback Rebuild here at pick 29 in the 2016 NFL Draft. For those of you that missed the last episode, probably the most important episode that has happened in this rebuild that hasn't been a Super Bowl victory, and that is we've kind of followed along the timeline of the actual Philadelphia Eagles, and we've moved on with Chip Kelly as our new head coach, taking over for Andy Reid, and we were able to land Marcus Mariota in the draft, 83 overall, 2+ there with the morale. Superstar. I'm shocked that he had a superstar. I thought for sure he'd have a star, but then again, you look at him, you look at Jameis Winston, both these guys coming out with superstar devs, because at that point in time, they were expected to be the next great, career, always connected, always competing against each other type quarterbacks, where it was going to be, at that time, both of them looked to be franchise quarterbacks, and they're always going to be connected, and we're going to be interested to see who would be better, Marcus Mariota or Jameis Winston throughout their career. So it does make sense from that standpoint that he's a superstar dev, and I'm happy for it because it is going to help us out within this rebuild as far as making Mariota what he should have been when he was coming out as just a ridiculously hyped quarterback from Oregon. But as we gear up for the draft, positions of need, I'll tell you right now, didn't get a lot of help from the comments in terms of like a consensus. But you look at the offensive side of the ball, we need a tight end. Then you flip to the defensive side of the ball, which isn't as good. You could argue we need a defensive tackle. You could argue we definitely need a corner. We could also, maybe get younger over for Trent Cole. Maybe look for an upgrade at middle linebacker. However, I think this is going to be one of those drafts where I end up kind of being the deciding factor, because I had people saying, here's our draft board, just say, screw it, C4, go with an Xavier Howard type, because clearly we know he's going to be a baller. But I have used Xavier Howard in rebuilds in the past, and what I'm thinking is this. We go Hunter Henry in the first round, and maybe see if there's a way that we can get James Bradbury in the second round, because we desperately need outside help at corner. But for the time being, let's continue. Let's just get BPA, and the fact that Hunter Henry is a early first-round talent. We desperately need a tight end. We have Nick Boyle, who's a great blocking tight end, but not so much as a receiver. I feel like this is probably just the best available player for us to improve, and that is going to be our selection. Hunter Henry, 78 overall with a hidden dev trait, number 9 in true value, getting him at pick 29. Again, these ratings are what their exact rookie ratings were in the correlating Madden. So this would have been Hunter Henry's Madden 17 rookie rating. Madden 6 would have been Madden 17, I'm pretty sure. And he looks pretty damn good. 84 speed, 89 acceleration, 80 catching, 77 run block. I mean, Hunter Henry has struggled with injuries and stuff like that with the Chargers. But when he's healthy, he is one of the most well-rounded tight ends in the NFL. I think definitely a top 10 tight end in the NFL when healthy. So I'm glad that we could add that to our offense. Oh, we got so close. I was just like, how far can I go to try to trade up for Bradbury? And I was like, can we get into the 20s? And then I just took it one too far. And he went at pick 20 to the Browns. Let's get to where we're picking. Let's just see who's going ahead of us here. Cyrus Jones, another corner that we would have been on board for. Derrick Henry's off the board. Lee Collins, we weren't interested in him. Kevin Byard, maybe interested. Okay. So we're up at pick 29. Need help at corner. Probably not going to look too good. We have Kendall Fuller there in the third round, but we need an outside corner. We have plenty of guys that can play in the slot. Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer, all those guys are going to be slot corners. You're looking for someone that can play on the outside. At this point, there's no proven outside corner. Like Daryl Worley is probably the best bet there. All right, maybe we're going to, more so go BPA, I suppose. Could be our best bet. Hey, screw it. We need a D-tackle. Philly eventually got Javon Hargrave, so why not get in on the end, like the beginning of his career? 69 hidden dev, I'll take that. Not a great pick from a draft analysis standpoint, number 87 in true value at 61. But whatever, man. Let's see what happens if Javon Hargrave started his career as a Philadelphia Eagle and not came over in free agency from the Pittsburgh Steelers. We're going to have to call this draft recap the 67 draft recap. I feel like literally everybody I got was a 67, and look at that. Okay, awesome. So we had Hunter Henry, you saw the Hargrave selection. I decided to go back-to-back with Eagles. I got Isaac Seumalo because I needed depth behind Jason Kelsey at center. I got Jalen Mills. We're going to keep him at safety. Maybe see if that can not ruin him because he was not very good at corner. Maybe that kind of hampered his development versus if he stayed at safety the entire time. Terrific red zone defender. Got Anthony Brown here, 6'7" normal. George Fant at tackle, 6'7" normal. And then I finished up with one of my better UDFA, come on Philly, make it happen shouts of all time. And that was Robbie Anderson. I was begging for Philly to get Robbie Anderson at a Temple. Local guy, knew he was a burner, ran like 4.3 at his pro day. And we ended up not getting him. He went to the Jets. And he's been a guy that absolutely would have been a beast on the Eagles if they just kind of listened. Even though he's looking pretty jacked right there. Don't know about the body type. 95 speed, 95 acceleration, 80 catching, 67 hidden dev. We have 3 hidden devs. Hargrave, Hunter Henry, and now Robbie Anderson, who gets to kind of develop on the tail end of our wide receiver room. But obviously Hunter Henry is a massive get for this offense going forward for year 2 of Chip Kelly and Marcus Mariota here in Philadelphia. So something that I kinda don't really, but kinda want to do a little bit more is trades have potentially like huge roster defining, breathtaking trades. And when you look at our roster, you kind of see there's overkill at wide receiver. We have Jerry Maclin 99, Deshaun Jackson's a 99, and Antonio Brown is a 94. When you look at the defense, everything looks pretty good except corner. That's like premier position for premier position. So I've been kind of looking around for a trade partner to maybe flip one of these wide receivers. Because in reality, you're trying to put it in like, there's no way that Antonio Brown would be happy being a career wide receiver 3. He wants to go on and bigger and better things. So I'm going to take AB as the most value. He's the youngest of the 3. And I was kind of looking at Houston. Wide receivers in their top 3 team needs. Corners are our biggest need, and they have 3 corners. 2 in particular that look really good. Pat Pete, 96. Mo Claiborne, 90. We want to try to get Pat Pete. 94 for a 96. It's real damn close. Like, we should be able to get this one over the line if we throw in... I don't even know. Probably a pick. You could probably get this over with like a 3rd round pick, 4th round pick. We'll start with a 4. AB and a 4th for Pat Pete. Ooh, that like went down. AB and a 3rd for Pat Pete. Oh, what about a 3 and a 4? Come on, baby. That got to be enough. Get this one over the line. Oh, it's so close. What else do we need? D-tackle, free safety. Maybe kick in like a depth D-tackle. Give him Benny Logan? Benny Logan in a 3rd? We have Javon Hargrave, right? So he can come in. And while at face value, he's not amazing starter, he has that young dev trait. Are you kidding me? Look how friggin' close that is. Antonio Brown in a 2nd for Patrick Peterson. That's about as high as I'm willing to go. There we go. Blockbuster trade has been secured. Antonio Brown, slot, it's one of those things. He was our slot receiver. So as long as Deshaun Jackson and Jerry Maclin don't hit that wall at 30 and regress 6-7 points, the fact that we were just able to add an X-Factor Patrick Peterson to our back end, that is a whole lot of junk in the trunk for this Eagles back end. It took our defense, I think we went up 1 overall point. I think we were at 87, could be wrong. Either way, I'm happy with it, because now that means Robbie Anderson has an opportunity to develop. Even though he's not going to be a slot, we'll probably kick in Jerry Maclin in the slot and have Deshaun Jackson and Robbie Anderson to be 2 elite deep threats on the outside, as well as 1st-round draft pick Hunter Henry on the offense. But then we did a shutdown, lockdown, one of the best corners of this generation, 2 years younger than Antonio Brown and Pat Pete. Let's be honest, he would not have that ability. I think he'd probably have shutdown, right? He'd be a shutdown corner. These are like always weird type of abilities. For Pat Pete, whatever makes him a better athlete. So acrobat potentially. Give him recoup. And we'll give him, let's see here. Give it 1 step ahead. Make him just an absolute playmaker. Patrick Peterson is now a member of the Philadelphia Eagles. Let's fucking go. And I know this bugs so, like, a lot of people, I don't know why, but there we go. We'll fix this number 2. We'll now be repping 21 in the midnight green. So I slipped through the halfway point of the year through 10 weeks, 4-5. Definitely disappointing. Last place in the NFC East. Maybe a sophomore slump for Mariota and Chip Kelly's offense. Looking at Marcus, 31st in yards, passing 19th in touchdowns. I mean, that doesn't look brutal, also doesn't look ideal, so maybe struggling to cope with the loss of Antonio Brown on the offensive side of the ball. Yeah, we'll play this game too, though. I like anytime we can potentially beat the Saints, I'll take that as a win because it's been a team historically Philly has struggled against. Looking at contracts. Okay, well, what do we got here? First, we'll prioritize what is the most important, and that is Harrison Smith. We're going to he wants a 6-year deal. Sure. What about Jason Peters? Like, this is going to be one of those year or two where it's going to be very, very, oh my God, it's going to be very tight from a budget standpoint. Maybe we can't bring back Shawn Andrews. I mean, Poyer and Hyde aren't necessarily developing the best. But, yeah, it's looking like we're not going to be able to pay everybody. Elam here, 38. I mean, he's not coming off his dev trait. And I feel like if we get Hyde back, we can just move one of Hyde or Poyer into free safety to take over for Matt Elam. But it's still, you never want to lose talent, man, especially when you're at a spot here with Philadelphia where we're underperforming this year. There's a very good chance that if we can't bring back Matt Elam, we can't bring back Shawn Andrews, we're not going to be as good as we were this year. And we're already underperforming. So that's just a weird spot to be. But I will prioritize re-signing Micah Hyde and Harrison Smith. And it looks like Shawn Andrews and Matt Elam are going to hit the open market. I'll take that. Also, another thing, we definitely got to get Mariota escape artist. I don't know. I don't think you have to be superstar to get it, but you probably have to be like a 90 scrambler or something like that. So maybe we'll prioritize that when we're spending his XP. Because he's just, feels awkward running the ball. Ooh, that's a big time sack there, Bruce Irvin. Oh, make a miss. Oh. With Sean McCoy, 9-9 X Factor. Oh, he's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting for his 5th rushing touchdown of the season. Defense does a good job. And this is one of those things, man, as much as you'd like to think Chip Kelly, Marcus Mariota rebuild, we have something truly special in LeSean McCoy. We shouldn't just focus solely on the passing game because of who we have. Because Shady can just do things like that. Come on, man. None of our guys have been winning on the outside. I'll just dump it off to Henry. This has been a real good showing from Malcolm Jenkins and the rest of these Saints on the back end of the defense, man. We only got that one big breakout play from LeSean McCoy. Other than that, it's difficult for our offensive line to hold up. It's, sticky-ass coverage. But then all it takes is to utilize this superstar X Factor, which, you know what? It's one of those things, personally, as someone myself that's not a competitive player, like I watch these occasionally, I'll see some clips. I'm like, man, I'm just not on another level. But then when you actually realize it for someone that's not in that world, that these guys have all these top players because it's Ultimate Team and stuff with all these crazy abilities. And I'm used to like rebuilding bad players that don't have any abilities. It's a completely different game when you have players with superstars and just animations that are unbelievably cheesy. Like, I can't complete more than a 5-yard pass, but give the ball to Sean McCoy, and I'm going to out-deke at least 10 to 15 people. So let's hit Jeremy Maclin here. Oh, he's gone. Maclin is, I'll tell you this also, as I'm going through this with this unreal play, as I swear to God, I promise you, this is on All Pro. It's not on All Madden. I wish it was on All Madden because I'd start a competitive channel, but it's on All Pro. Maclin is the #1 wide receiver in this game. He's like a 99 in almost every category except physical. Like, he's a 99 deep threat, 99 slot. He's just, he's unreal. Like, I'm almost at a point with Jeremy Maclin that I can't spend XP points. That's how good of a wide receiver he is. All right, Maclin. We got Hunter Henry going across in the slant. Or we could scamper. Mariota with his 90 speed. Oh, he does it. Malcolm Jenkins tries to close the distance. Could not. Philly's going in up halftime 28-7. Oh, that's timing. That was elite timing. Marcus Mariota. Jeremy Maclin gets his 5th touchdown of the year. This is a rout. So at the end of this game, very good showing from Marcus Mariota. Didn't have to throw the ball up because we were dominant on the ground. 200-plus yards for LeSean McCoy. Only 1 catch for D-Jax. Typical Deshaun Jackson, 62 yards. But that 84% completion percentage for Marcus Mariota, who has been underperforming today in this season. Hopefully that's a kick in the ass that he can finish it out strong. And Philly, hey, we get on a little bit of a winning streak here in the sim. Maybe, just maybe, we will be playoff bound. As we close out the season, the only good news was we were able to re-sign Harrison Smith and Micah Hyde. We did not, with that victory, dominant victory over the Saints, kind of kick this team in the ass and get them into overdrive to make the playoffs as we finished 7-9. Last place in the NFC East. I mean, 7-9 is not like, oh my God, sky's falling. It's also not ideal as we are picking pretty close to the top 10. You know, the bad news is we can't get Myles Garrett. Good news, still should get a pretty solid player. In terms of dev traits, we had a couple hidden devs. On the offense side of the ball, Hunter Henry came out as a star dev. Just kind of hoping for a superstar there. Robbie Anderson came out star dev. Fine. On the defensive side of the ball, Javon Hargrave came out star dev. We'll move him up the D-tackle depth chart there. Actually, we'll probably actually make him just our starter because Benny Logan is set to hit free agency. We didn't have the Bucks to re-sign him. We'll be interested to see who we want to actually move to safety. Yeah, we'll probably go Poyer. I'll make Jordan Poyer our new free safety. Hopefully he gets a little bit of that safety. I want to say that like maybe they nerfed it a little bit. Safeties used to get the same kind of cheese that outside linebackers got. They must have tuned that under the hood for franchise mode because it was way more prevalent back in, you know, September, October, November, just for linebackers to go up automatically dev traits. Seems to have tuned down maybe a little bit, but safeties were like right on par with that. And we didn't get any dev trait scenarios, any just organic dev traits from Matt Elam through any of his 4 years here in Philadelphia since we drafted him. So I don't know what our expectations can be for Poyer, but he will be our new free safety going forward, which gives a massive hole for third corner. No disrespect for Eric Rowe, but probably want someone with maybe a little bit more upside potentially. So we enter this offseason needing, again, maybe a wide receiver to come in and compete with Robbie Anderson. We're going to need a guard because Sean Andrews just didn't have the Bucks to re-sign him. But, hey, I know that is kind of a good thing. I like entering a free agency period and offseason with obvious needs, so it makes it just a little bit easier, a little bit funner than just going BPA. So let's just kind of see what happened here on this 7-9 year. Marcus Mariota wasn't bad or good. Like, that's like, you know, a solid season. 32 touchdowns, 14 picks. Probably want to see a little less interceptions, 3,800 yards. Run the ball, 1,206 for LaShawn McCoy, 4 and 7 for David Johnson. I'll take it, 4 rushing touchdowns for Marcus Mariota. So 36 tutties on the year. I will still be happy with those numbers. 1,100 yards, 10 touchdowns for Jeremy Maclin, who's moved back into the slot. Almost 1,000 yards for Deshaun Jackson and 5. We got 7 and 3 for Robbie Anderson. Almost 6 and 8 for Hunter Henry. Defensively, Micah Hyde led the team in tackles with 98. 14.5 sacks for the ageless wonder Trent Cole. 8.5 for Bowman. 7.5 for Geno Atkins. Navarro Bowman, just a do-it-all linebacker for us this season. 3 picks for Pat Pete, the new superstar on the back end of the defense for the Philadelphia Eagles. Hopefully that, you know, I guess you could say, what did we finish defensively? To make that move to give up AB, we were a top 10 defense, and I'd like to think a big part of that was the addition of Patrick Peterson. MVP went to RG3 on the Washington football team. Some weird guys here. Mariota coming in at number 10. But seeing like Josh Freeman, Jay Cutler, Blaine Gabbert, Mark Sanchez. I mean, again, this is one of those series, man. The more teams we go through, the more randomness, the more just like, what is this? What alternate reality is this? And that's the alternate reality that we're trying to provide as a YouTube experience here in the Flashback franchises. Can't wait to move on to the other teams once we get to them. Offensive Player of the Year went to RG3. Defensive Player went to Shaq Thompson. Carson Wentz, Offensive Rookie of the Year for the New Orleans Saints. VH3 from Florida. The Falcons, Vernon Hargraves, Defensive Rookie of the Year. For the individual awards, nothing for the Eagles. The 7-9 Eagles getting left out in the dark here. Yeah, all right. A lot of work to do, I guess. Oh, no. Jason Peters retired. We just paid him big-time money. Does that mean we can get Sean Andrews back on a 1 year? That money that we're going to give to Jason Peters, can we give it to him? Oh, we still can't. I'll offer it to him. Jason Peters retired in 2017. He's still playing in real life. So in free agency, I had enough money to get one. We needed a corner. We needed a tackle. We needed a guard. And you look at the tackles out of our market. We had $10 million. We couldn't get McNeil. We could get a Band-Aid like a Staley or something like that, which is all fine and dandy. I'd rather just draft one if I could. So when I look into the corners, though, we were in the price bracket for the top corner. Where's a scheme fit? We need a slot guy, right? We can go Poyer on the out or Hyde on the outside. You know, that's probably a little bit of a gamble. Either way, we needed a corner. I wanted to try to spend a little bit of our salary cap here. So we're going to be the leading bid here for DJ Hayden. Guy that kind of got drafted with some medical issues out of Houston. I don't even really know. I know he's been with the Jags. I think he's been okay. Either way, we locked him up. 84-27 to come in to our secondary. Patrick Peterson, Micah Hyde, DJ Hayden. I will take that. And that leaves us for the draft needing, well, we're going to need a left tackle. We're going to need a right guard. Just guard, tackle and guard are the two spots that we're going to unsexily hopefully land in this upcoming draft. So knowing what we need for the draft, let's kind of look at the draft class just for a refresher. This was the Myles Garrett and not a quarterback class that Chicago Bears fans want to talk about. But we enter this draft needing linemen. And you look at the tackles that are available, Garrett Bowles, Ryan Ramczyk, Cam Robinson, all coming in with first-round grades. They're all very high on our draft board. Dan Feeney as a first-rounder for a third-rounder. That could be a guy that we look at in the second round potentially, coming in and replacing Sean Andrews there. We have Forrest Lamp, second rounder with a first round grade. That's also pretty damn applicable. Taylor Moton, who's actually probably the best of these guys available, not getting a favorable draft grade. Right tackle here, we have Dion. It's actually not a great tackle class. Like, I'm hoping that we're going to be able to get like a Bowles or a Ramczyk. Let's see who's there on the board. If not, I might have to get you guys to help me out. But we're here at pick 12, high enough pick that we could have our pick of the litter, and it's going to be annoying knowing the talent is here because Mahomes and Deshaun Watson and McCaffrey, Alvin Kamara, all these obvious superstars, but we have to be within the moment and go for what we absolutely need. And they're both there. Garrett Bowles is there, mid-first round talent. Ryan Ramczyk, mid-first round talent. We have our pick of the litter, and I'm thinking, man, I don't really know which one to go with. And I feel like this is like a stupid, hey guys, tell me which tackle to go with. They're all scheme fits. I think the tell is age. Cam Robinson, late first. I think we got to go Ramczyk because Garrett Bowles is 25. He went through the JUCO system and all that stuff before he went to Utah. 23 for Ramczyk. I'm not even going to think twice about it. I'm going to pick Ryan Ramczyk here. 78 hidden dev, number 12 in true value. Pretty much a like for how we started this episode with Hunter Henry. Hopefully it's a superstar dev because he has massive shoes to fill to replace, in my opinion, probably not a first ballot, but overall a Hall of Famer in Jason Peters. But that is a phenomenal pick for the Philadelphia Eagles. And that's kind of, we'll let up the queue up the second pick here to try and see maybe this is where we're going to need a little bit more direction from you guys. Oh, we don't have a second pick because of the Patrick Peterson trade. And then Chris Godwin just went. That 100% would have been my pick here at 12. Oh, Jesus. So we needed a guard still. I mean, if Feeney's still there, I'll make that selection because we were already talking about it. He's actually off the board. Oof. Probably Taylor Moton, second rounder. I mean, early first round talent. Oh, I'll take that. The red grade for Taylor Moton, and he still comes out 73 hidden dev. Number 68 in true value, just like that, replacing two established superstar dev linemen. And Sean Andrews and Jason Peters, we're churning in two more hidden dev guys to replace him. Doesn't get much better than that. So to finish with the draft for today's episode, we got Ryan Ramczyk. Yes, saw the Taylor Moton pick. From beyond that, we got Anthony Walker Jr., linebacker here, formerly of the Colts. Just some solid depth behind Chris Borland. We got Trey Hendrickson, 69, obviously paid out, cashed out big time in free agency, went to the Bengals after having a breakout year with the Saints. So we got, kind of following the Saints draft here with Hendrickson and Ramczyk. We got Rudy Ford, who last year for the Philadelphia Eagles was probably, I thought, really almost our best player in terms of like Pro Bowl prospects because he was really, really good as a special teamer. And then we got a Super Bowl hero as our third string running back, Corey Clement. I just had to do it looking at the names that were available at the dire moments of this draft. But Ramczyk and Taylor Moton, massive shoes to fill as Ramczyk looks to try to replace Jason Peters and Taylor Moton looks to try to replace Sean Andrews on that offensive line. But, it's an unsexy draft. Anytime you burn your premier picks, I mean, we didn't even have a second rounder because of the Pat Pete trade. That's why I didn't really want to, have anticipation about who am I going to draft Not sticking at the end of this episode because anytime you draft linemen, it's not really particularly exciting, but it's going to be good, hopefully, for the Eagles going forward as we gear up for the 2017 season in just a couple of days' time. So that does it for me today, guys. Thank you for watching. As always, if it's your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Helps out my videos in the old YouTube algorithm. And I'll see you guys back here tomorrow with another awesome video. Thanks for watching, and peace out.